The car hits the rumble strip on the side of the highway, and Gibson awakens suddenly. He snaps his eyes back to the road, barely having time to avoid John on the shoulder hitchhiking. Gibson slams on his brakes and comes to a stop several yards away from him.
Holy shit!
Gibson grips the wheel, breathing hard and looking straight ahead. He checks the rearview mirror and upon seeing John, turns in his seat to look out the back window. John stands with a look of disbelief. His backpack sits upright on the ground, and upon eye contact, falls on its side. Gibson and John both stare straight ahead. The crackly radio continues to skip and stand for stations. John interrupts the still atmosphere. Fuck's up with your radio, man?
It's busted. I just keep it on to pass the time. So, where are you headed?
Anywhere that way.
You were pretty far from that town back there. Just curious. What brings you way out into the middle of nowhere?
Out here? I'm just being, man.
Being, man? Yeah, you sound crazier than I am.
Didn't anyone ever tell you it's okay to just be? He finally looks over. It takes Gibson a moment to respond. John remains silent as he remains fixed on Gibson, who is becoming increasingly uncomfortable. John breaks the silence. Relax, man. I'm not going to hurt you or anything. I'm fucking with you.
Name's Gibson. John Gibson.
That's funny.
Why is that?
We have the same name?
What, John?
Yep. Certified J-O-N.
Well, I'm a J-O-H-N myself. Common name, though. I shouldn't be surprised.
So what brings you to the middle of nowhere, John?
Out here. I'm, just being.
You're funny, man. But seriously, like, how long have you been out here, driving?
Well, a few days now. I got more than 6 hours sleep, I figure. Just running on autopilot. Gotta say, it's nice to have company, though.
There's an awkward pause and the smile fades from Gibson's face. Can I share something with you, John? Gibson is caught off guard. John turns to wrestle something out of his backpack.
Well, sure.
It's a thick book with no visible writing on the cover. You ask why I'm in the middle of nowhere, but what exactly is nowhere? I mean, nowhere has to be somewhere. Just because it may seem like this road is completely empty doesn't mean it is. Gibson is dismissive about the comment. He looks from John to the highway and back at John.
Looks pretty empty to me.
You're not understanding me. John flips the book open. Have you ever thought that something can be full of a great emptiness?
Like, do you ever feel like you're moving at 60 miles per hour when you're actually sitting still?
Gibson looks back and forth between the highway and his passenger. John looks intently at him. Is that supposed to be a joke? It's some kind of jokester we got here. Well, John, that's actually exactly what I'm talking about. What, you don't think you're not capable of coming up with some deep shit? Because you just did.
Well, I ain't sure what you're... Shit.
Gibson looks down at the dashboard, noticing the car is overheating. We need to pull... Oh, sorry.
We need to pull over. She's overheating.
He pulls over just as they are entering another small town. Gibson pops the hood and gets out of the car. Exterior, shoulder highway 36, continuous. I keep minor errors in the script. He grabs a jug of water out of the back. He continues to talk to John, who remains in the car.
Not to worry. Happens all the time. Just need to cool off a minute.
A man standing across the street is looking at Gibson curiously.
This damned radiator. Just a little H2O and we'll be on our way.
The man yells out to Gibson, "Hey, everything okay over there?"
Yeah, sure, we're fine. She just can't stand the heat sometimes. Thanks.
You sure?
Yep, that's all she needs.
Gibson slams down the hood and gets back into the car. As he pulls away, he gives the man a wave. The man continues to stare as Gibson drives away. Interior, Pathfinder. John sits with his head down reading from his book. The radio lands on a station and the DJ interrupts the static with his introduction to the next song. Up next, we have a little tune for you from 1959 by Santo and Johnny. The song Sleepwalk begins underneath the DJ's voice. Even if you may be asleep out there, we hope this one will keep you up. The song causes John to look up from his book. Why are you out here, John? He stares straight ahead when he asks the question. He looks over at Gibson. There's no immediate answer.
I'm running.
Like, what? Did you kill somebody?
No, God, no. Nothing like that. It's from something else. It's a memory. Sounds ridiculous. How can someone run from something that's stuck in their own head?
Nothing fixates so intensely on a memory as much as the wish to forget it. You think driving's gonna help? Good luck with that.
You're right. I mean, I have no idea what I'm doing out here. Running, searching, living, dying.
Maybe you're looking for something to believe in.
You know, I read a book that looked like that one once. It was called The Evolution of the Soul. You know, some real deep shit. I must have been about your age. I was fascinated. It was about the difference between your physical and mental identities, the difference between the body and the soul. That was about the time I met her, and I stopped worrying about shit like that. It was cancer.
John looks at him, Gibson returning the glance a moment after.
They took her.
John looks down at the book in his lap. And that's why you're running? Fuck cancer. John pulls a pack of cigarettes out of his breast pocket and puts one between his lips and lights it. Do you mind?
No.
John offers the pack to him. Gibson shakes his head again.
No, I just quit.
John looks out the window and takes a long drag from his cigarette. I'm really sorry about your wife, John.
I just can't afford to lose anything that important to me again.
You know, she's gonna be with you forever. And no matter how much you want to escape it, you can't. You just can't. The words sink in. Gibson stares straight ahead. They pass a sign reading Hudson 27 miles.
You know, you're wise beyond your years. I must seem crazy to you. My soul rescue mission. I'm in the middle of nowhere talking to a stranger about the crossroads of my life. You know what? I think I must be going crazy.
Gibson looks over at John,